As much as we love to work on our race cars, our weekend cars, or our drag cars, we cannot forget about our daily. These dailies are supposed to be reliable and take us from point A to point B whenever we want. So that is why I am doing a small service today. We're gonna change the oil, air filter, oil filter, and the 4 spark plugs. So before we continue, you guys might have noticed something. Where is the battery? So for the service, you don't have to take your battery out. I'm just gonna do it. Reason is because this plate over here is going really bad. It's starting to rust up and stuff. I just want to clean it out and maybe respray it a bit. And also because I'm gonna be working for a very long period on this car, because if you do look here, I got a beautiful splat over there. It's actually my water pump. I think the gasket went, so I'm gonna be doing that as well. And especially with your bonnet open and most of the times your doors is open and all of these things, you just don't want your battery to drain, because you don't want to do all of this stuff and then get in your car and then start your car and then it can't start because of a flat battery. So that is just a pointer. You guys can always just take the negative off, or you can take the positive off. I know a lot of people say no, it must be the positive, it must be the negative. In that case, without arguing, just remove both. Alright, so what we're gonna do is we are gonna start with the oil. So the car did not actually heat up at all. I just technically pushed it in here. There's a lot of people saying that your car should be idling a bit so that your oil can actually get a little bit hot so it can drain quicker. That's true, but if you do start it at the end of the day, all the oil is going back to the top. So either way, now it has been sitting, so all the oil did go to the bottom. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start by draining it. Even though it is cold, what will happen is all the oil will drain out. So while it's busy draining out, we will go ahead and change the spark plugs, the air filter, and the oil filter. And then the last thing we'll do is top it up with the oil. Also, what I did do is, sorry guys for taking so long, if you guys do notice it, the car is standing actually on an angle. The reason why I did this is because the screw for the oil on the sump is actually on this side of the car. So by tilting it, I'm taking all the oil that's supposed to be at the bottom to the one side now, so it can just drain out quicker. That is just something you guys can keep in mind while doing it. So let's get started by getting this baby down there. This right here is our oil pan, also known as a sump. Here at the back in the corner is exactly where the screw is that we want to drain. So we're going to put this over here just to make sure that we can catch all the oil, and then we're going to go and remove it. So this is a messy job. Just watch out, it might just spray. We're going to just center it properly. Alright, and there we go. So the oil is super black. I'm not sure when it was changed last. I'll have to look in the service book, but we're gonna leave the car now to drain the oil. We are moving over to the spark plugs now. The spark plugs is located underneath this air intake. So we actually gotta take off this front piece first. Very simple, you just pull it back, lift it up, there we go. And now what we're going to do is we're also going to access the air filter, which is placed right over here. It's got 4 clips. You just literally pull them back, 1 2 3, and you're at the back, number 4. And then also, if you do look down here, you'll see there's like one of these clips. They are not very strong, so you can actually just use your hand to prime it down a little bit and take it off. Let me see if I can get you a better view. So now that everything is loose, we can go and lift it up over here. Do know that it might be a little bit stuck, but if you do intend to wiggle it, it will come loose super quick. So as you guys can see, there's more than enough space now to loosen these screws, well, these bolts for the spark plugs, but we might actually end up just trying to see if we can remove this entire unit. I mean, look at that, there's already more than enough space now. And then also here is our air filter. So let's see how dirty this thing is. Holy goodness. All right, this thing is very dirty. I even see there, it looks like it broke a little bit, but that doesn't really matter too much. So let's just go and put this one side. For now, I'm gonna leave the air filter out because it's only gonna get dirty while we are busy here. So I'm quickly gonna loosen all 3 of these bolts. Okay, so all 3 bolts is loosened now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pull the plugs out at the back. It looks just like a plug that you actually have to press down on and then just pull them back. So I currently removed all 3 plugs. I just want to give you guys a tip: leave these screws in that's holding the coil down, because actually trying to remove these clips is very difficult. You really got to wiggle them. So by keeping them in, it's just going to hold this entire part still while you struggle with those. So now I'm going to quickly go and remove them, and then it's easy, just lift the coil up and it's out. If this is your very first time doing the spark plugs on your car, I'd really recommend you guys to get these longer sockets. So this is a 16mm. The reason why is because if you do look over here, this is where we tighten the spark plug into the engine. So imagine having the small socket, it will never be able to reach there. So with this longer one, we can reach all the way down and tighten and loosen her up. And then just to make the work a little bit easier, because I'm not removing this intake cover, I've got a swivel with an extension right over here, just to make sure that we can go in a bit of an angle so that, yeah, we can be able to loosen it up. So let's quickly go ahead and loosen all 3. So the middle one is loose now, but the spark plug is still all the way down there. Hopefully you guys can see it. It's laying a bit to the side. You just move this manifold, so there it is. So sometimes it can be very difficult to actually get it out, but what I prefer to do is, let me just zoom out, is I just prefer to take the coil, press it back in there, and you just gotta move it very gently, wiggle it, come on, and then it should pop right out as soon as you can grab it, obviously. Okay, and there it is out. So I must tell you guys one thing: this was actually not a 16mm. I had to use a 14mm that was extended. I don't know why. It is actually a smaller size. As you guys can see, it fits over there. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna take one of the new spark plugs, because now is one of the most perfect time just to make sure that they are the correct ones. Looking at it, they seem similar. I must say that this white part over here is a little bit bigger, but as long as it goes into the coil, it's fine. Inspecting the spark plug, there's no metal shavings on it. It's not white or anything. It doesn't look like it's overfueling at all. So this spark plug is actually really good. I'm not gonna lie, I like the fact that it's iridium. I could have actually left them in for like 150,000, but we're just gonna go ahead and replace them anyway. So upon further inspection, I realized that these spark plugs are not the same. If we do look at the thread area and the area over here, you can see that the new one is much wider. Maybe if I turn it like this for a comparison, you will be able to see it as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly going to go back to the store and take this as a sample width, just to make sure that they do give me the right spark plugs. So currently now I'm just going to put in the coil packs over here so that no dust can actually go inside of the engine, and I'm just going to put the screw back on the sump, just so that while we are gone, that the small stream doesn't mess or anything crawls up there. I am currently back home and I've got some bad news. The place where I bought the new spark plugs from, unfortunately does not have this type of spark plugs. So I'm gonna have to use these old ones. These are iridium spark plugs. Let's see if we can just focus. Come on. Well, anyway, it is iridium spark plugs, so they last up until about like 150,000 kilometers, and this Aygo has only seen about 50,000. So I'm just gonna put it back. I'll have to do the spark plugs another day. So it is technically just vice versa. We're just gonna slide it in, tighten it, and then press all 3 of these in, clip everything back in, and tighten these 3 bolts. We're gonna go and assemble the top manifold part, and we gotta put our filter in. So we're gonna quickly remove our new filter. And my goodness, look at how clean it is. Let me give you an example. This is the new versus the old. It looks so bad. So it's really actually important for you to change your filters frequently. So we're just gonna go slide this one in. There we go. It's gonna seat properly, it's not moving, and then we're just gonna go and place this part back up here. We're just gonna have a look, because we gotta remember that this clip over here, it actually has to go inwards. Okay, so all I just did was I pressed it down. We're gonna put it on its old mark, and we're gonna go and hook all 4 of these clips back up. So I did notice that this part is damaged over here. It is sealing though, so it's not gonna cause any problems now. I do want to change this top part in the future. It looks like the previous owner did actually damage it. So we're gonna quickly go hook up all 4 of these again, and the last one here at the back. Perfecto. So everything up here is done. Spark plugs unfortunately is not done, but it's okay so far. So now we are left with 2 things. We still got to change the oil filter, and we have got to add oil. Sometimes when you want to remove the oil filter, it can actually be really difficult. They tend to get a little bit stuck. So you can actually use these 2 tools. Obviously there is more tools out there. You actually get one of these with a chain, but I prefer the belt just because it's a little bit more flexible than the chain. So you can actually go and put it around the filter. You can pull it, and there we go. You can pull it until it's tight, and you can actually loosen it. Same goes with this one over here. So now we got to go under the car quick and change the filter. Please note that when you do change a filter, there might be some oil coming out, especially with this car, because of oil filter is actually sitting upside down. So when you do take it out, just make sure you don't tip it or anything, because it's going to be full of oil. And then also, if you guys do look here, okay, I know it's got a plastic on top of it. We're going to take it off, but you see it's got this black seal over here. Make sure that when you take the old filter out, that this seal actually comes with it. Sometimes it actually likes to stay behind, and then you're going to have like a double gasket, and that's just going to make a bad leak. So yeah, just make sure you take that one off as well. I just turned it loose, and already there is oil coming out. So just make sure you do have got your drum over here. We're just gonna go and take it off completely. Wow, this is gonna be a messy job. Oh my gosh. Okay, there is a lot of oil coming out here. And there we go. It is completely out. And as I mentioned before, there is a lot of oil in here. Now we're gonna prepare the filter to go back into the car. So this seal over here, just to make sure it seats better, what you can do is you can just dip your finger into the oil and just put a little of oil on the edge of the gasket. So with these filters, a lot of people believe that you must just tighten it by hand, such as now. I believe just to tighten it a little bit more, because whenever this filter has to leak, it's going to make a very bad oil mess, because from the oil pump, it first feeds oil to the filter, and then from the filter to the rest of the engine. So you can just imagine how much oil will leak out if this filter comes a little bit loose. And as simple as that, the filter is changed. So we have got one more thing to do, and that is just to top up with oil. So I prefer to use a funnel. It just helps you not to spill oil everywhere, and then you have to clean up that additional oil. So let's quickly do it. I am currently not done with the oil, so I did stop for one reason. This engine over here just takes a little bit more than 4 liters of oil, so I drained it till about 4 liters, and now I just want to see on the dipstick if the oil level is fine. You never want to overfill your car, and you never want to be under the minimum. As you can see, we are at the minimum right now, so that means we gotta throw in a little bit more oil. By looking over there, you can see it is on the dot. I had such a good guess. So there we go, the oil is topped up. Perfect, we are done. Oil filter, oil, air filter and spark plugs, but not spark plugs. So now that we are done, we can go ahead and start the car. After a minute or two, you want to come back and just check your oil. Remember, the oil filter was empty. All the pipes and stuff should be empty as well. So now when you start your car, it's going to take some of the oil circulated through the engine, so your level might actually drop a little bit. But do not top up straight after you started your car. Remember, the oil is going to lay on top of the valve train. It's going to go down eventually in a couple of minutes, so just be patient. So while we're going to quickly start the car and make sure everything is okay, I'm going to go and clean afterwards, and then we're going to check the oil just to confirm that everything is done. So after I cleaned up and did everything I needed to do, she is ready to be started. So the battery is in over there. We're gonna walk over. There we go. No, keys is in my pocket. Let's quickly go and turn her on. Car is in neutral. Let's prime it. And perfect. So that was a quick and easy start. And she sounds good. So I can't hear anything out of the ordinary to show me that I've done something wrong. Quick check underneath. Nope, no oil leaks. That over there is my water pump, if you guys haven't forgotten yet. I will be changing the oil pump in my next video. I'm actually a little bit lazy. I don't think I'm going to do it today. But anyway, guys, there we go. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy this video, found it helpful, informative, or whatsoever, please make sure to drop a big like. If you would love to support the channel, hit the logo at the bottom right corner to subscribe. If you want to see a similar video, hit the icon on the left. If you want to see one of my most recent videos, hit the icon on the right. Then I'll see all of you legends in my next video. But for now, peace out.